Thank you, Dan. Good morning, everyone. It's finally Friday. It's Friday, January 10th, 2020, 6 minutes after the hour of 6 a.m., and it's 17 degrees outside. A nice, balmy morning for you to get up and head off to work. And we're happy to have you along with us. If you want to be a part of the big broadcast today, all you got to do is pick up the phone, 406-522-TALK, 406-522-8255, or you can call our text line or text us at 406-478-8298. And this is the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. Tom Eagle off your morning mayor. Shane Montalban, half man, half amazing, is in Vancouver, British Columbia, and we're brought to you by the Club Tavern and Grill this morning. So we're happy to have them as our morning show sponsor. And, well, it's quite a overnight sensation, Shane, with the shooting down of this airliner.
Wow, who writes this stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, somebody in Hollywood.
Isn't this a movie? Isn't this a movie?
Like someone has to be sitting down, and doing a.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Where's the ABC movie of the week when you need one?
Yeah, and now the Iranians are saying, "Oh, the boxes are too damaged." What do you mean? Like they're built to be indestructible?
That's right. Why don't they make the whole plane out of the black box stuff? The things just bounce around the ground and everybody live.
But that's correct. But of course, it would never get into the sky.
Well, I don't know. Well, Howard Hughes got that spruce thing in the sky.
That's right. The spruce goose. Yeah, you got that to fly.
That was a pretty good size,
It
size
still
aircraft.
does amaze you when you look up and you see a plane landing or taking off.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Like cruising along, like say 1,000 feet or whatever in the plane, and you look at it and it's going so slow, and you go, "How is that possible?"
Yeah, how does that thing even stay up there? And
I mean, I can understand a boat on the water because of corks. Okay, I'm so simple-minded. Yeah. I think of corks. Okay.
Yeah.
And styrofoam.
Yeah. Things,
okay, so
there are things that float and things that don't. So yeah.
Yeah. Then you see a cruise ship and you go, "How?" I mean,
yeah. Why isn't that on the bottom?
That's amazing. Anyway.
Well, I'm one of those guys. When you fly, and I flew quite a bit when I was doing seminars and stuff all over the country, but I'm the guy that sits in the seat, and I wonder who designed the tray table that comes down, and who makes the switch, and who picked out the cover of the seat, the upholstery.
And who decides how far back the seat goes?
Yeah, and I'm looking out the window. How come there's not 15 rivets instead of 14 or whatever on the wing there?
And the amazing thing, this is just after 2 days or 3 days ago, I was watching a program, and they had a video of someone sitting in an airplane and watching the wheel burning and drop off as it took off. And,
well, good.
They were videotaping it, right?
Yeah. Well, that's good.
They had to turn around and fly back.
Well,
oh my God!
I think so. I guess you can land on two wheels, huh? And then you just gently drop it over, or what?
Yeah, the sad thing about the 737, I believe it was, it's a Boeing. It has two engines.
Yeah.
And it can literally fly with one.
Yeah.
So, if there had been something wrong with the engine as first reported, they could have, returned and.
Yeah, they can get back. Yeah. Yeah.
When you're literally shot out of the sky.
I know. And yeah, whether it was accidental or whether they just had it on automatic. Anything you see, blast it.
Exactly.
And why would you have planes taking off when you're firing missiles anyway? I mean, come on.
Well, how would you like to be the individual that did it?
Well, yeah. Yeah, I would say that guy is probably pushing up daisies right now.
Yeah.
I would say in Iran.
Yeah, that's right.
He's probably not with us any longer. Probably
right.
his family isn't either.
That's right. And I don't think there's much of a celebration on.
No, I don't think there is. So, well, we got to talk a little bit about our weather because it is, as I mentioned earlier, it's 17 degrees outside. It's pretty.
I don't want to talk about the weather.
Yeah, I know. You got snow. You got snow where you are.
We have an inch on the ground already. I mean, like it's cold. It's 9 below zero.
Ooh.
And you can't see 30 feet.
Wow. All right.
It started snowing an hour and a half ago, and it's coming. It is the B of all B weather storms
The
in the wintertime.
mother of all storms is coming. Is that right?
Yeah,
To you?
this is a daughter. She's even worse than mom.
Yeah.
The daughter of all storms.
The Cinderella sisters is coming.
Yeah.
There you are.
There you go, buddy.
Let's see. Today we're looking for a 10% chance of snow after 5 p.m. this afternoon. Partly sunny. Our high's only going to be about 25 degrees today. Tonight we got a 40% chance of snow, mainly after 9 o'clock tonight. It's going to be cloudy with the temperature going up to 24. So we're going to be our low is going to be almost our high for the day. New snow accumulation of less than half an inch is possible. Saturday night, slight chance of snow again before 8 a.m. Then a slight chance of snow after 11 o'clock. Mostly cloudy with a high near 34. Chance of precip is 20% on Saturday. Saturday night, we got a 30% chance of snow, mainly before 11 p.m. Mostly cloudy with a low around 22. And little or no snow accumulation is expected. Then Sunday, it's going to be mostly cloudy with a high near 32. Sunday night, 50% chance of snow, mainly after 11 o'clock, mostly cloudy with a low around 17. And new snow accumulation of less than 1 inch is possible. And then for your commute back on Monday, mostly snow's likely, mainly before 11 o'clock, mostly cloudy with a high near 25 again. And a slight chance of snow Monday night, mostly cloudy with a low around 6 degrees. And then it's going to start getting a little colder. Tuesday, chance of snow high. The high will only be near 16. Tuesday night, chance of snow, low around 2 below zero. And then on Wednesday, it's going to be partly sunny with a high near 16 again. And Wednesday night, mostly cloudy with a low around 5 degrees. So going to be a little nippy out there for the next few days, and light snow here and there. Temperatures around the area right now that we've got to talk about. Livingston is at 12 degrees currently. Manhattan also 12. Three Forks is 11. Gallatin Gateway's 9 degrees. Big Sky's 3 degrees. West Yellowstone is 6 below. Gardner is 4 degrees. Ennis is 11 degrees. And at the airport, in Belgrade right now, it's 16 degrees, and we're right at 17 degrees here in our downtown studios. Road conditions, not looking all that good around the area. Most, if you're going from Bozeman over to Billings, you're going to run into some lot of snow coverage, the Big Timber, Columbus area outside of Livingston. Bozeman Hill, snow covered, got some wind warnings there. Going over toward, if you're going up to Helena from Bozeman, 287 is pretty good till you get right before Townsend and out of Townsend into Helena is going to be a little nasty. Ennis going down to West Yellowstone is fine. 191, of course, this time of year, always bad. Homestake Pass, ice and snow there. And if you're going over there, Anaconda up to Missoula, you're going to be fighting ice and snow most of the way, all the way. In fact, going up those areas. So give yourself plenty of time because you may be stuck in some folks sliding off the street or whatever. Our poll question yesterday: beard or no beard for men? 41% of you said yes, men look better with beards. And 37% said no, men look better clean shaven. 3% were undecided, and 17% had other answers. Some of the other answers are both. I guess you shave one side. Keep
right.
the other side going. Okay. Can't stand that Muslim big beard on men in the summertime. Well-groomed short beards are very attractive. And depends on the guy and the beard. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Scruffy beard on young men is sexy. Full beards make older men look like animals. So The country went to hell once the presidents lost the beards. I can go along with that. A lot of our previous presidents had beards, including Abe Lincoln and some of the others. Yeah.
That's right through the 1800s.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Depends on the face. Some do, some don't. So anyway, those are some of the answers that we had from yesterday. Our poll question today, music was at its best in which decade? And we did the 40s to the present.
Mm-hmm.
And so far right now in the early voting, we've got the 70s is in the lead, 71% seem to like to move from the 70s. The 40s, surprisingly, is in second place, Shane. 28% like that. Yeah.
Big band music,
Big band, yeah. Big band music back there. We included that as well. And Frank Sinatra and all the singers of the day back then.
The crooners, as they were called.
Yeah. Then the 70s, of course, Eagles, prominent in there, and some other bands, of course. So,
yeah, 70s. Doobie Brothers.
Yeah, 70s was pretty good music, I think. So.
Hard rock and roll, baby, live.
That's it, for sure. All right, we got to take care of the ranchers, farmers. We've got the Headwaters Livestock Report and other stuff, so stay tuned. We'll be right back right after this. Hang on. 23 minutes after the hour. It's Friday, January 10th, 2020, 16 degrees outside. We're looking for a high of only 25 today. This is the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane, brought to you by the Club Tavern and Grill in the Grand Tree Hotel across from Walmart on North 7th Avenue, and we appreciate them very much. And well, let's see, Shane. 1776, Thomas Paine published the pamphlet Common Sense, and it's obvious no one in Congress has read that.
It was a series of 13 pamphlets that he wrote, and he called it The American Crisis. And it was a famous series from 1776 to 1783. It infuriated the British so much they tried him in absentia in England for sedition.
Whoa.
And libel, because he didn't like Edmund Burke at the time. But it's quite fascinating because, you know, we talk about people that change the world. And once again, on his own, John Adams said, without the pen of the author of Common Sense, the sword of Washington would have been raised in vain.
Ooh, well, all right.
This guy was major.
He was a big deal. Yeah, he was.
He lived to 72.
Yeah.
1809. Boy, I'll tell you, I don't know. It seems to me that people have been living a lot longer than we give them credit for.
Well, they certainly did back then. I don't know. Well, they were eating all natural stuff. You know, they grew everything natural. Yeah. Well, they did. Oh, come on. They didn't have pasteurization and homogenization and all that stuff, and they didn't have Hot Pockets and
chemicals and fertilizers. Yeah. They're just natural fertilizers.
They didn't have all that stuff. Yeah, they go out on the White House lawn, grab one of those sheep, and leg a lamb.
A much quieter time with windmills.
That's true. Yeah. Well, in 1861, Florida seceded from the Union.
Yeah, and this is a great thing. Something acquired from the French. Mm-hmm. Population 21.5 million. Their income rank is 40th in the country at 53,000. Median in-house household income.
They have a lot of retirees there. Maybe that may be what drags the income down.
And here's why: because the state adopted a Napoleonic code. It's the only state in the Union that neither federal or state governments can come after you for tax money owed and take your home or your possessions.
Wow. That's why a lot of people relocate there. Yeah.
That's why all those wealthy people that retire from banking in the Northeast, they move down there, buy a home, fill it with antiques and paintings and, expensive silverware because the government cannot come and take. That's why, that fellow that had that issue with his wife and her boyfriend, that's why he had a home there, because they couldn't take it away from him.
Yeah. All right. Well, there's talk of Trump moving his official residence out of New
Okay.
York, but New York is saying, "Well, hold on now. We're not going to lose your tax
No, he's
bill."
gone. No, he's gone.
Well,
Yeah,
he's gone, but New York
oh,
is still saying, "Hey, I think you still owe taxes in New York." I don't know if they're going to get that done or not, but anyway, that's the scuttlebutt, as they say.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, in 1863, London's Metropolitan, the world's first underground passenger railway, opened to the public. It sounds more like a opera house than passenger railway.
Well, and remarkably enough, one of the fascinating things about the Metro line is not just its length, 41 miles, but when it was built, right? I mean, it was built between World War I and World War II as a project, not just to move people, of course.
No,
But
it couldn't have been built then. It was 1863. Couldn't have been built between World War I and World War II.
No. I'm saying it like it expanded to like 41
okay.
miles.
They made it bigger between World War I and World War II. Okay. I just want to make sure, that we don't want to confuse our dates here.
Yeah, the railway was just between Paddington and Farrington. I mean,
okay.
With wood carriages and steam locomotives. We're not talking serious effort here. But anyway, the bottom line, though, is that London, which is now over 14 million people, but it was the first city of 1 million people since Rome.
Wow.
Yeah, in Western civilization. So, you build an empire.
Yeah. That must have been a tube of total pollution in there with steam engines and whatever. And I don't know.
Yeah,
didn't really have a whole lot of electric ventilation in 1863, so not sure where they
probably very pleasant.
Yeah, I'm not sure where they were there. So anyway.
Yeah.
All right, we come back.
34 stations, and the ridership is 67 million people a year. That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people. All right, when we come back, we got to talk about John D. Rockefeller and Standard Oil. We got to talk about the League of Nations, Great Britain, and Anthony Eden and Harold Macmillan and the Beatles and Masterpiece Theater and the Vatican and, oh my God, Time Warner. We got to talk about all this stuff, Shane.
Okay.
And we got to get it all in before 7 o'clock. So.
All right.
All right, we'll be back. Stay tuned. This is the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane, brought to you by the Club Tavern and Grill. We'll be right back. 25 minutes before the top of the hour. It's Friday, January 10th, 2020, 16 degrees outside. Shane and Tom, half man, half amazing on the line. Tom Eagleoff, your morning mayor in Bozeman. And, the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane, brought to you by the Club Tavern and Grill. And, from our text line, we were talking about airline seats earlier, Shane.
Yes, right, yeah.
The way they're designed. Well, obviously, a skinny midget designs today's airline seats, and that's from Not Your Sister Tam.
Now, Tom, we know they're called little people.
That's right. Yeah. Well, I didn't say it.
I know you did.
All right, 1870, John D. Rockefeller incorporated Standard Oil.
Remarkable story of an individual 20 years old. The two things that he developed that are quite interesting for industry in the United States, of course, creating multiple companies for the illusion of a monopoly in the Chinese wall, but more importantly, the vertical integration. So, once he understood that oil could be refined, he got into it. He got into the transportation of it, so he bought railroads. And he was a very, very brilliant guy. Lived to 97. The importance of what he did was he fought the United States government, but the Supreme Court in 1911, said it under the antitrust laws that his companies had to be broken up. So, of course, they became Standard Oil of Indiana and Illinois and Exxon and Mobil and Chevron. And so he took them public.
Yeah.
The day after they went public, it was heard to have said to his son, "Why didn't we do this sooner?
Yeah,
We're We're worth far more now than we ever were. Well, that's true.
Yeah.
His net worth today would be $418 billion. I'm saying billion dollars.
With a
I mean,
B. Yeah, that's with a
that's
B.
like 10 times Gates' wealth, right?
Yeah.
In
Or
19
Bezos too.
That's right. In 19 in 19 what was it, 31 or something?
Yeah.
He was 1.2% of the GDP of the United States, an individual. I mean, now that's what you call money power.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
That's all money. That's all money.
He did the right thing, I think.
He did.
Right place, right time, I guess, huh?
And he was a great philanthropist. He
Yeah.
founded University of Chicago, Rockefeller University,
Mhm.
Central University of the Philippines, and of course the Rockefeller Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
He had a huge influence in eradicating hookworm and yellow fever, which were major urban diseases at the time
Mm-hmm.
in the United States. So, yeah, they sort of lived pretty good. Still do.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're all official trust babies.
Yeah, they were before the Kennedys, the Rockefellers, the dynasty. One of them a vice president for a time under Nixon, of course. Yeah, we remember that.
Ford, yeah.
Yeah.
Ford picked him
Or
as
Ford,
the vice
rather.
president.
Ford, sorry, not Nixon.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yes,
Yes, during that despicable period of time, the
I know.
Nixonian time, yes.
Yeah, I know. All right, let's see. 1920, the League of Nations was established as the Treaty of Versailles went into effect.
That's right. And Woodrow Wilson was the big guy behind that. His 14 points outlined it in his doctrine that he set for the world after World War I. Sad thing about all this is the reason we're having the problems we are today is because of it.
Yeah.
That 1921, yes, we've talked so many times before, like, who gave these people the right to go make borders in the Middle East? I mean, it's just incredible. But they all realized the importance of oil now, and they certainly were convinced that it was clear across the Middle East, which ended up being so. So they all wanted a piece of the action. So that's the bottom line, right?
Yeah.
Oil. It was all about oil.
Yeah. Well, there you are.
It's always about oil.
Everything's about oil, right?
Everything's about oil.
Everything I'm sitting in here has got oil in it somewhere.
90% of what you walk through every day, oil.
Got oil in there. Yeah, that's for sure.
Nice oil pants you got on.
Yeah. In other news, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals ruling cited a Supreme Court decision from July, and they've turned loose. The court has approved the $3.6 billion for Trump's border wall that Mexico gave us. So we're happy to report that.
Right. He's up to 186 federal judges of 464.
Wow.
Can you imagine him getting to 300?
That's going to be
huge.
pretty. That would be
Huge.
pretty doggone amazing. That's for sure. Yeah. All right. Let's see. 1957, Harold Macmillan became Prime Minister of Great Britain following the resignation of Anthony Eden.
Yeah, that's it. In the context of a. Well, I guess what you'd have to say it's like one of the first democratic countries in the world, right?
Yeah.
And so in that context, the history of prime ministers has been basically in the middle, right? And and he was just an average guy, right?
Right. Yeah.
They had some great ones like Churchill and so forth, and Thatcher. You got to put Thatcher up there,
right?
But he wasn't too big. He came out of World War I, and he was just one of those gentlemen that came out of the World War I and World War II issue, and ended up involved as a leader of the Conservative Party because they bounced Churchill, but nothing major. I mean, he took on Keynesian economics and turned, as a conservative, England into a socialist state. Sort of strange.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
All right. We got to take another short break. We'll be back right after this. Stay tuned. 15 minutes before the... No.
Yes. You're there.
No. We're not going to talk about folic acid yet.
Holy asses! Where did that
I
come
knew that stupid emergency broadcast thing would screw up, so I don't
from?
know what he got to do to this thing. Anyway, oh, well, it wouldn't be Friday if it wasn't some screw up somewhere, huh?
But yeah, it's finally Friday. So this is where you sort of clean the slate.
Yeah,
Of course, neither of us need a whiteboard to talk, but
that's for
clean the
sure.
slate
Yeah.
and let's get ready for the weekend.
Amen. I'm ready for that. Well, let's see. In 1964, on this date, the Beatles' first album in the United States, Introducing the Beatles, was released back in 1964. Wow.
It really was a wow.
Yeah.
And then the reason it was a wow is they were the guys that produced actually the first videos because they did those movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they were really cool movies. I mean, I remember
Hard Day's Night, and yeah.
we went for a quarter to watch them,
Oh yeah. I know.
and they were in black and white.
Yeah.
And it was just like chasing guys around in London, right?
Yeah. That's yeah. I was gonna say they were running all over the place most of the time, but anyway.
And then just singing a song on a rooftop in a
Yeah.
park.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was but they were the first videos when you think about it, right?
Yeah, they were. Yeah, first music videos produced,
Yeah.
I would say. Well, I don't know if you want to count, some of the movies of the '40s, Danny Kaye and Bing Crosby dancing around, and Bob Hope and all those guys. Yeah, I mean those were sort of music videos, but those weren't released as just the song, on TV or.
That's right.
Or
Like
anywhere
Hard
else.
Day's Night, there was no dialogue in Hard Day's
Yeah,
Night.
not much anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
They had that old guy on the train that they were worried about, but other than that, there wasn't much going on.
But it'll be fantastic. Not that we'll see it, but I mean, because 500 years from now, they'll be remembered like forever.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah. I was gonna say, yeah. They pretty much changed music dramatically. I mean, they really came along and changed the bubblegum music to real true rock music, and
the sound too.
and their
I mean,
creation. The creation
right.
of the various things they did.
That's right. There was like 400 years since musical instruments really changed in any way.
Oh yeah.
And so with the electric guitar and speakers and the whole darn thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it made such a huge, and the drums.
Oh yeah.
The drums became such an integral part of it. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
oh yeah. Yeah.
it really did. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people didn't give Ringo Starr much credit, but he was pretty good actually. So yeah.
Tempo, baby, tempo.
That's it, man. You got to keep it. 1967, Republican Edward W. Brooke of Massachusetts, the first black elected to the U.S. Senate by popular vote, took his seat. 1967, the first black elected to the Senate.
None of which makes sense because Massachusetts elects him. He's a Republican and he's an African American. Now that's just
none of that makes sense at all. Yeah,
that's a triple oxymoron. Right?
I know.
But brilliant guy. I mean, he came out of Boston University Law School, and I guess in the case of Biden, he would say, well, he was one of these clean sounding African Americans. Well, no, I mean, he was incredibly successful, civil rights activist, and obviously a liberal, and sort of climbed the ladder in Washington, talking about housing discrimination, and got HUD, housing urban development, starting to make things happen, and so he was very active, and regrettably the first African American in Congress since after the Civil War, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes,
since Reconstruction.
That's Reconstruction. Those Democrats ran them all out of town during the Jim Crow laws, right?
Yeah. Well, let's see. In 1971, Masterpiece Theater premiered on PBS, and we all sat around and watched Masterpiece Theater back in the day.
Well, that's because we only had 3 channels to watch.
Well, that's right. I mean, that was the problem. That's all we could do.
Yeah, and it's you remember they always just had one camera and never moved.
Yeah. Desi Arnaz hadn't been born yet, maybe. I don't know. No, he was around then, I think. But yeah,
he was.
Yeah, sitcom changed the way things are filmed. So,
100%.
Yeah. Let's take a phone call. 522 Talk is the number. Caller here on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm going to direct this question to Shane.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Have you heard One American News or ever watched One American News? But that's also directed to you too, Tom.
One American News?
Yeah.
I think so. No, I have to say I haven't. No.
Me either. No.
Oh, I found
I'll write it down.
Multi-hundred TV station deals by, but yeah, so I've had the chance to watch it for a little bit, but my curiosity question is that if you've heard of it.
Yeah, I haven't heard of it.
I mean, we've looked at a lot of networks that are out there, because of our interest in wanting to go, national.
Of course. Yeah.
Well, what about One America News?
I don't know. Well, I guess
I don't know. Check it out.
They're the only ones that had a lot about that Canadian-Iranian deal.
Yeah.
Plane thing on it. So
really?
That's why I brought that up.
All right. Well, we'll check it out.
Well, it almost brought our prime minister to tears in his news conference.
I know.
His new beard yesterday.
Now, what was that about? I didn't hear about that.
So the 73 Canadians that died in that airplane crash. He had a news conference, and standing there with his nice trimmed new beard, he almost started to cry. It was very heartfelt.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. Now you just brought back a thought. So does that Canadian guy kind of look like Trump, or no? That question, I'll get off the phone.
You're making me choke here. You're making me choke here. No, not even close.
Yeah, not close. All right, thanks for the call.
He looks more like a Beto.
Yeah, he does. He looks a little bit like Beto, doesn't he? We got to take a short break. We'll be right back. Hang on. 5 minutes before the top of the hour. Good morning, everyone. It's the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane, brought to you by the Club Tavern and Grill. Shane Talbot, half man, half amazing, the best co-host in radio today, working alive and well in Vancouver, British Columbia, covered with snow. And Tom Eagle up, your morning mayor in the house. We got the county commissioners should be in here at 8 o'clock this morning, so we'll be chatting with them. They're suing the city. So we'll be talking about why are they suing the city over some road somewhere. So we'll be chatting with them about what's going on with that. So that'll be coming up at the 8 o'clock hour. Coming up at 7 o'clock hour, we'll do some local stuff for you. And on this date in history, in 2000, well, let's see, not get ahead of ourselves, I guess. 1984, the United States and the Vatican established full diplomatic relations. I can't believe it was 1984. You'd think they would have liked each other before that, but...
Well, Americans had that great fear of the Pope controlling your country.
Well, that's true. Yeah, during the Kennedy, that was one of the concerns they had when electing Kennedy, that the Pope would be calling the shots.
That's right. And then he went to MIT and did his famous speech. That, Thou shalt not listen to the Pope, even by telegraph.
That's right. Don't pay any attention to that man behind the curtain.
Yeah, exactly. Very good call, Mayor. That was good. I like that. Behind the curtain, yeah.
All right. Let's go to the phones. 522 Talk is the number, 522-8255. Calling on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Good morning, guys.
Hey.
So we got President Obama taking out Soleimani. And if you look back when Obama took out Osama bin Laden, it's the same kind of thing. Now, all of a sudden, the House needs to pass this wartime resolution. It's like any time President Trump does anything good, the Democrats got to find some way to spin it to make it negative. Oh, we didn't have enough proof that he was bad, that he killed Americans. You have to get permission. Come to Congress and let us know what you're going to do so we can approve it. Well, there'd be some kind of leak. I mean, and something like that has to be done swiftly, secretly, covertly, and for President Trump to have to come to Congress to get permission would be just ridiculous and laughable because, you know, all the time there's so many things that are leaked. And then if that were to happen and they still tried to do the strike, they probably wouldn't get the guy who they wanted to get, and the other people would die. And if they didn't do the strike, they probably blame Trump on not killing him because he's killing more Americans. It's like he can't win for losing. The Democrats just hate him so bad. I heard one congressman make the comment during the impeachment hearings, I believe it was, Corey Lewandowski, maybe, from one of the New England states. Sounds like a pretty decent guy. He made the comment, I think it was him, that made the comment that Democrats hate Trump more than they love the country.
Well, that's hard to argue with.
Can we draw straws on this one, Tom? Because I don't want to answer first.
Yeah. Right. All right. We're up against the clock. Hey, thanks for your call. I appreciate it. Thanks for listening.
All right.
Take care out there. All right. All right. Yeah, I would. It's pretty obvious. None of the Democrats particularly like Trump. They think he was illegitimately elected. And, you'd think after 3 years and, let's get back to business. I don't know. I don't know what it takes to do that, Shane.
I don't know. I mean, I don't even
do the
think
country's business and get off.
Yeah.
He's one guy. We've got checks and balances. He's not a dictator.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've got to go. So we'll be back here shortly. Coming up at 8 o'clock, county commissioners should be in to join us, and we'll be talking to them about their lawsuit against the city. And then coming up right after the news at the top of the hour, we're going to go into our local stuff, what's going on around the area, and we'll chat about that and some other things. So stay tuned. We got a lot to do today. It's finally Friday, thankfully. Hey. We love Friday. All right. We'll be back right after the news at the top of the hour. Welcome back, everyone. 6 minutes after the hour of 7 a.m. It's Friday, January 10th, 2020, 13 degrees outside. Welcome back to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane, brought to you by the Club Tavern and Grill. Shane Matobin, half man, half amazing, is in Vancouver, British Columbia, covered with an inch of snow. And Tom Migueloff, your morning mayor, in beautiful, comfortable downtown Bozeman at 13 degrees, looking for a high of 25 today. So what a great day. From our text line, 478-8298, did you hear the latest Democrat rant concerning President Trump taking out Tara Soleimani? They say that they wanted more evidence of the wrongdoing. Hey, you liberal jerks. There's way more evidence of General Soleimani being involved in terrorist attacks against the United States than President Trump doing anything legitimately impeachable. You Democrats are more concerned about a terrorist's rights who hated the U.S. than you are the due process of the President Trump. You Democrats make us sick to our stomachs. So, what do you think, Shane?
Well, Obama authorized 542 drone strikes, killing an estimated, are you ready for this? 3,797 people, including 324 civilians.
Wow.
And, he reportedly told an aide in 2011, turns out I'm really good at killing people. Don't know what's going to be a strong suit for me.
Yeah.
Really, and your president this guy was a bad dude.
He's a bad guy, yeah. Well, you gotta give President Obama credit. He has killed more terrorists than all other Nobel Peace Prize winners combined. I mean, come on.
Well, you see, I can't say that as a Canadian, but you
that's
can.
True. Soleimani would have gotten away by the time Pelosi got her dual eyebrows on.
Now you have to tell everyone that video you sent me about the link. Wow, was that
yeah.
amazing?
Yeah, someone sent me a link of the attack on Soleimani, and I sent it over to Shane, and it's they're in a little convoy of about what 7 cars, something like that, and they just take the cars out, and then some of the people start running off from the cars, and they're blasting those people as they're running away. So they're making sure that they got everybody. So it's.
Well,
Yeah, it's pretty. It shows the power of what you can do if you know where somebody is. But
that's right. So I like everyone said, there's more than one message. The message wasn't just getting rid of him.
Yeah.
But letting any terrorist out there know this isn't going to be too complicated for us anymore. Okay, we figured this out, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think we're okay on it. Yeah. Talking about the vote yesterday to curtail Trump's powers to go to war with Iran. They made the resolution, so if Trump makes a similar action, the Dems will say it's an impeachable offense.
Not true, because it's not authorized, hasn't been passed by the Senate nor signed by the president.
That's true. Yeah.
It's nothing other than let's pick a name for a post office.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not binding as law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe if Trump didn't constantly mock, insult, and lie about Democrats, they wouldn't hate him so much. Trump tweet: Democrats are now the party of high taxes, high crime, and open borders. Well, it's pretty hard to argue that they've already said they're going to raise your taxes. They're going to take back the corporate tax cuts, and they've also said they're for. They're not for the wall. They certainly didn't appropriate the money for the wall. So, but President Trump did get $3.6 billion for the wall. The courts in Texas, Fifth Circuit Court, said, "Go for it, man."
Well, Mayor, if you allow me to make a prediction,
go for it.
Okay, my prediction is that when this impeachment issue is resolved, which it will be probably within the next 3 or 4 weeks. Which is a giggle because we got to talk about it just for fun. But I think that he's going to pull them all out pull your troops out of Iraq, and he should, because they don't want him there, and if he has to put tariffs on to get the $1 trillion back from Iraq that they owe us or owe you, that'll happen too. But I don't think he wants to do it until this impeachment issue is settled. But once it's settled, they're all coming home, baby. It's all done.
All right. Let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you're on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's going on?
Well, you don't have to be a Democrat to be unsettled by another murder at a distance. What are you laughing at? That there's a convoy of cars. And,
yeah.
You're killing people rushing out of cars. You don't know the people from a hole in the ground. How do you know they're guilty as charged because they're running away from a damaged car?
Well, I didn't think the people in the Twin Towers were guilty of anything either.
Well, all right. You don't have to throw some other information in. Well, let me get to a.
Okay. Wait! Before you go on, Daniel, just simple question.
Yeah.
Two simple questions. Do you believe this guy was a terrorist and killed American soldiers and wounded thousands others with EIDs?
I don't know. I've never seen him kill anybody.
Do you know Obama declared him a terrorist 10 years ago?
No, I didn't know that.
That's right. He was on, and Obama had a hit list every day that he looked at in the White House for 7 years.
All right. No, I didn't know that. I don't know.
I just told you how many he killed. Over 2,000 people by drones.
And also in the attack in Islamabad, when they went in and got Osama, they shot a lot of people on the way in to get him too. So whether they were innocent or not, we don't know. But they were with him, so you're guilty by association. I guess the driver at a bank robbery is just as guilty as the guys that go in and rob the bank. So
yeah.
So you execute them all. All right.
Absolutely.
Let me.
you have to, because you don't know if one of the guys running away is the guy you're after.
That's right.
So, yeah.
All right. Let me get a question in too.
Sure. Go for it.
Have you ever seen this general murder somebody?
Me personally, no.
Yeah.
I have.
Oh no, he bragged about it, Daniel. He bragged about it.
Yeah.
He bragged about it all over the Middle East.
Well, so does Mad Dog Mattis brag about killing people.
Sure.
So they have a right to see Mad Dog Mattis get at the airport at Baghdad and gun him down because he's associated with murders.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, he was in charge. He was the guy that was in charge of the military in Iran. So, of course he killed people and ordered people.
And, of course, he would be a target in Baghdad. Absolutely. Of course he would.
100%.
Yeah.
All right.
He was under UN orders not to leave Iran, right?
Who is the he?
This general that went on a commercial flight to give cover so it wouldn't get shot down. He was ordered not to leave Iran.
Well, how do you know that?
Because they passed a resolution in the UN against him.
Oh, you're talking about we gave him that order.
No, the UN did. Russia, China, France, Britain, the United States on the Security Council. They passed a resolution under the Security Council that he could not leave Iran.
All right. So some outer system made demands on him. Does that mean we listen to everybody? What everybody else says? Let me finish my thread.
Go for it.
Okay.
Instead of tearing me into little shreds here.
Well, we're just making sure that you are aware of the information that is out there. That's all. Yeah. We're not picking on you. We're just pointing out that there's missing information in your thoughts. But go ahead.
All right. My information was that's another child of God, made in God's image. In the bigger plan of things, you just don't tear up God's people. You don't shoot them in the inner city because they exist. It's not proper to be murdering people. In the United States, there might not be dancing in the streets for these killings, but virtually everybody, particularly around here, that is talking says, yes, it's good that they killed them. Kill, kill, kill. That's a very troubling country.
Based on your argument, bin Laden shouldn't have been taken out.
There are other systems. A creative person could have arrested him.
How?
People get arrested.
He's standing there with a rifle. You got to say, you're under arrest, get down on the floor, drop your gun. In Arabic? I don't know. I don't.
Three of his wives had rifles and were firing at the SEALs that went in to get bin Laden.
And that's all on tape. So.
All right. I thought you were going to be polite enough to let me finish my thread.
Well, go ahead.
Now.
Go ahead, yeah.
All right. Now
it's only a 3-hour show. You know, we got to get going.
Well, yeah, you padded it up.
Yeah. Well.
All right.
What's your thread?
So. The Americans have a right to gun down any general walking out of a Baghdad bar.
Yes.
Now, what as and I'm not a Democrat, far from being a Democrat and far from being a Republican. What evidence is there that this was a clear and present danger? This idea that we're doing preemptive strikes are like regime change. They have blown up in our face before. Why just kill him for the sake of killing him? What was he going to do? Light a bomb at the Baghdad airport and kill some people?
Well, he was there for a reason, Daniel. He wasn't there just on vacation. You know, he had a UN resolution that says you can't leave Iran. He left Iran anyway and found himself in Baghdad with several groups that were ready to attack Americans from the information that was out there. And rather than have that happen when they knew where this guy was, it was obvious to eliminate him.
Yeah, well, generals don't make war decisions. Some political system does.
But they carry them out, just like the Germans did in Auschwitz and everywhere else, and that's not a defense.
Yeah, and the United States does. So that gives
that's
other
right.
countries a right to gun down American generals.
Absolutely, it sure does.
Oh, well, life is not
Daniel, I hate to wake you up to the
precious.
reality. Those are the rules of war.
Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about the rules of God, who far outstrip the rules of war.
Well, these people are supposed to be extremely religious, and I don't believe there's any religion in the world that says it's okay to kill people, other than maybe the Quran says if you can kill people who don't believe as you do. But still, in all, these are very religious people, and I believe they've used their religion to foster. This whole thing started with 9/11. We weren't attacking anybody. Well, actually, you could go back all the way back to Saddam Hussein, I guess. But it wasn't us going into Iraq to go after Saddam Hussein. He attacked Kuwait, and the UN said, "Hey, go get him," and we did. And then it escalated from there. But that's
even Henry Kriegel has changed his tune and said he used to be pretty gung-ho about that area, but it's gotten carried away. So I think that
Shane and I both think we should get out of there, and we're ready to come
what
home.
do you think? Do you think the U.S. should get out of Iraq? Daniel?
Well, maybe to a great extent. You don't want to leave it high and dry like Vietnam.
Well, we'll talk about Vietnam when we come back, but I got to take a break right now. I'm out of time, Dan. I'm sorry. I gave you plenty of time. So, hey, thanks for the call. All right, we'll be right back after this. 23 minutes after the hour of 7 a.m., and welcome back to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. We've got a caller patiently waiting on the line. Let's go to the phones. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you're on the air. What's up?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good.
Excellent. Hey, I just had a quick story for you guys. So I was in the Army. I served over in Iraq in 2003 to 2004, so pretty much right after the invasion in March of 2003.
Mm-hmm.
And I was at an air base in southern Iraq called Tallil Air Base, Tallil. And we were a reserve unit, a bunch of Montana boys. We were camped out in a bombed-out hangar. And we thought it had just been bombed out, but it wasn't. It was bombed out in 91. So it was bombed out in that the Gulf War. And then here we were in 2003 standing in this bombed-out hangar, and I was laying in my cot, and I was looking up at the I-beams, and I see up on the I-beam it says U.S. Air Force 1973. Okay, so what did we do? When Iraq was fighting Iran, we went in there and gave them a bunch of money. We built them a nice air base. And then we came back in 91, and we blew it up. And then here I was at 22 years old in 2003, staying in that bombed-out hangar, You guys starting to see what's going on?
Oh, yeah.
It's called irony.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So the money train just keeps on going.
Yeah.
I was young, gung-ho, ready to go, me and all the Montana boys. And, we were really blessed over there. We didn't suffer any casualties. We were one of the only units that didn't suffer any casualties while we were there, praise God. And I made it back with all my digits. But there's a lot of guys that didn't, and a lot of guys are really damaged. And so I'm real cautious when we start doing this stuff. I think this guy needed to get put out, and I do trust Trump. I think he's doing a great job. So I'm all for him, but I'm very, very cautious. I see, it's been a long time since I was over there in '04 when I got back, and there's a whole other generation of young guys. They're all gung-ho and ready to go, and a lot of them, are going to come back real damaged if we get into a big spat over there. So I'm pretty cautious about it myself.
Yeah. All right. Hey, thanks for the call. Thanks for the experience. That was a good one.
And your service. You're a wonderful young man, and the world is grateful because you've done us well.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks much. All right. Yeah. From our text line, you'll like this, Jay.
Okay, this is going to be a goodie. Right.
Yeah. Somebody sent me a picture. It's got the Democrat candidates on it.
And, good. Here we go.
And it says, deceased Iranian General Soleimani surges into fourth place in Democratic primary race.
Oh, my God.
That was pretty good. So, I don't know. Let's take another phone call before we have to go to the bottom of the hour. Caller, you're on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Well, I just have a question for everybody that's questioning Trump's motives and all his lead up to bombing this guy out.
Mm-hmm.
In the state of Washington D.C. right now, in the state it's in, who are you going to trust to tell what you're going to go do?
Yeah.
They'd have probably known about it before the bomb showed up.
Well, yeah, he said that last night in Toledo. He said, "What's Pelosi think I'm going to do?" And call her up and tell her what we're doing so she can leak it to CNN.
I mean, what are these? I can't believe these people are that stupid.
I know.
I mean, it's the old adage from your mother. It's better to sit there and keep your mouth shut and be thought an idiot than open your mouth and remove all doubt, right?
That's right. Exactly.
I mean, geez, these people are, I can't believe they're even, questioning this. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
all right.
Have a good day,
well,
guys.
it does make people wonder what the Democrats' motive is, right?
Yeah. Hey, thanks for the call. Thanks for listening. We appreciate it. All right. Well, they do. Yeah, from our text line. Republicans are the party of corporation owning D.C. politicians via donations, big debt, no fines for hiring illegals, Mexico not paying for the wall, and fear-mongering. Well, okay. Good for them. That's why we keep them in office. We like that. We like that fear-mongering and corporation owning and all that stuff. So that's good for us. Keeps everybody employed, doesn't it? Yeah, we should have we're going to have a jobs report coming out this morning. It should do the market. The market went over 29 just briefly this morning, overnight as I was watching. And I haven't checked it lately, but we'll go see where it is when we come back because the market's going to open in about 30 seconds or so. So we'll see what it opens at, and we'll give you that info. We still got to do some local stuff. We haven't got to yet, so we'll do that when we come back right after this. This is the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane, brought to you by the Club Tavern and Grill across from Walmart on North 7th in the Grand Tree. We'll be right back. 24 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Friday. Finally Friday. It's January 10th, 2020. 13 degrees outside. Shane Dobbin, half man, half amazing on the line with me. Tom Eagleoff, your morning mayor. And this is the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. And from our app chat line, when Shane says -9, is that Celsius, Shane, or is that -9 Fahrenheit?
Well, Celsius, of course.
Okay. Of course. Why would it be anything else?
That's right.
Let's go to the phones. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you on the air. What's going on?
Well, I'm just so happy it's Friday, Thomas.
Me too. Hey, Pete.
Yesterday was Friday, and the day before was Friday.
That's it.
I like Friday, but I don't like the weekends anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Everybody else is out during the week. I get the whole town to myself almost.
Yeah.
That's good.
But didn't Obama kill a couple of U.S. citizens over there with a drone?
He did, yeah.
He did.
I didn't hear the hue and cry then, although I suppose it was a little somewhere.
Yeah.
But and as part of the nuclear deal that Obama made with Iran, he allowed 2,500 Iranian elites into this country.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if we know where them guys are. Probably not.
They're running 7-Elevens in Barstow.
That's
right. Yeah. But, we're in mad world country here. I mean, they just had a woman crossed our border, southern border illegally, and she got deathly ill in custody. They shipped her to the hospital there in Texas, and she died within hours. And come to find out, she had Ebola. But not to worry, the CDC has a patent on a vaccine for Ebola. Now, explain that one to me. What are they,
Well, that was in Atlanta. It's just too long to get it to Texas.
Right.
Come on.
Well, I'm just saying, what are they doing? They don't do research like that. They don't make vaccines. They buy them.
Yeah.
They don't make them. So, and that's going on. And what you got, Washington State, Oregon, and California are either making vaccines mandatory or trying to make them mandatory. So I don't know. It don't make a lot of sense to me. But Mr. Trump there, if you heard him when he first come out and he said, we'll talking about bombing their cultural sites. And then, that kind of got me a little off guard. And I'm there, why would he say that? And then I stumbled across a little article where the Iranians like to hide their nuclear facilities next to historical and religious sites. I'm there, well, maybe that's why he said that. But who knows? I'm not going to try to get in Trump's head. Lord knows I'm crazy enough. But yeah, it seems like everything's upside down. Nothing's making a lot of sense here. What's going on? But I think Trump's gonna. I don't know what's going to happen with Pompeo. Trump seems to like him, but I don't know. He's done some things that probably Trump, if he knew, wouldn't like, and I would assume that he knows. So we'll have to wait and see how much longer his tenure goes there at the State Department. But
well, I think he decided not to run for the Senate, Pete, because he's going to continue as the Secretary of State.
Yeah, well, that's what I got out of it, but
yeah, I don't think that's much doubt about that.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. There's some crap floating around out there that ain't too good. I'll tell you right now. It's some bad stuff. But anyway, you guys have a great weekend, man.
All right,
you too, buddies.
All right.
Stay dry.
Stay off the roads.
Yeah.
Stay off the roads. Don't bottle me up anywhere.
Yeah, will do. Hey, thanks, Pete.
You take care.
Take it easy. All right, let's see. Before we take a break here, Shane, I've got to talk about the Club Tavern and Grill, Bozeman's top-rated upscale sports bar. Shane, they got 12 TVs, a casino, a full bar. They got a Montana-owned City Brew barista and sport packages and more. And they were voted Bozeman's Choice Best Happy Hour. The Club Tavern and Grill offers happy hour specials every day of the week. Holy smokes. and I'm sure you'll be able to find something you'll love from their extensive drink and food menu. They also serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and a kid-friendly menu. Go online to theclubtavernandgrill.com, theclubtavernandgrill.com. Place an order for pickup or make a reservation for parties of 6 or more. So check out the Club Tavern and Grill at the Best Western Grand Tree on North 7th across from Walmart. Tell them Tom and Shane sent you in.
That's right, and there's parking's free, and there's plenty of it.
Yeah.
They got a great parking lot, man. You can park anywhere.
You'll get a free cocktail napkin. We guarantee it. All right.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, let's go. Let's take a break real quick. We got a caller waiting on the line, Shane. If you can entertain them, we'll be right back. 16 minutes before the top of the hour, we got a caller patiently waiting on the line, so let's take a phone call. Caller, you are on the air. What's going on?
Well, thank you, Tom, for letting me know that I'm still a patient man.
All right, good deal.
Well,
I'm here to help.
Okay. I was just connecting with Shane about, the revelation that this aircraft was actually shot down, and how is the Canadian government reacting to all this, along with the Canadian citizens? And I was just, I know here, in our politicians here are blaming Trump that it's, collateral damage, and it was all his fault that it was shot down because of what we did to the general. But I was just curious to know how the Canadian, public and the Canadian Prime Minister is reacting to it.
Well, it's really horrific because the AP, and the New York Times are reporting today it wasn't one, it was 2 missiles they fired at their own plane.
Right. I'd heard that also. They got
anyway. As I was telling him, Canada doesn't have an embassy or any representation in Iraq, so our Prime Minister has asked Italy to, relay our Canadians' feelings about this, and it's as the caller and I were talking. The politicians make so much of this stuff, and then, it's like this is. What do you say, Tom? I mean, they shoot their own plane down.
Well, yeah. I'm wondering, Shane, why are so many Canadians in Iran going to the Ukraine?
Well,
we have a large Persian population here, and we know of a family here in Coquitlam that their parents and their son were taken that were Persian. But a lot of miners, are over there too, Canadian miners.
Oh, okay. All right.
Right. One more thing I wanted to touch base on is this, and I don't know if it's just a show of pomp and circumstance, but this War Powers resolution that the Congress passed, from what I heard, it's non-binding.
It is.
It is. Yeah, it's non-binding. Yeah.
Well, what the heck does that mean?
It means that, hey, Democrats are doing their job to stop Trump's evil dictatorship of taking over the entire world.
Egad. Let me mention something, too. If I'm not mistaken, there was a War Powers Act passed in 1973. Tom, we were around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't in the military at that time. I had taken a little break before I went back in, but I believe that was because of, trying to curb President Nixon's aggressive action in Vietnam, or more aggressive actions, and I believe, firing up Rolling Thunder again.
Yeah.
That's
well,
right.
I think what that act does, and Shane can correct me if I'm mistaken, but I think it allows the president 90 days to do an action, and then after that, it's got to be funded by Congress.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
well,
he has to inform Congress after 90 days, and then they make a determination of whether they want to continue funding.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm glad President Trump has a lot of money, because he could probably fund it himself.
Well, yeah. There you.
But I'd like to remind you that Clinton went 97 days, in Eastern Europe when he was bombing over there, Serbia and so forth.
They forget it. How short is the memory of a Democrat these days? It's amazing.
Well, the news pulls it out every time one of these politicians says something about we don't want a wall at the border, and then they pull back. 9 years ago, you said you wanted one. What's the deal?
Oh yeah, that's that short-term memory lapse.
I know. Well, I remember Saturdays when we did the Saturday show during back in 2001 or 4 or whatever it was.
Oh, those are great times.
Oh, yeah. Well, on the courthouse every Saturday morning, there was a bunch of protesters about, the Iraq War, or the Gulf War, I guess. And the day after Obama was elected, they were gone. They just weren't there anymore because they couldn't protest Obama.
Right. So I was amazed. I was amazed yesterday at our news conference when the Speaker of the House, Pelosi, was asked about impeachment and the correlation to, Clinton, and that they wanted to provide the same guidelines. And she goes, "Oh, no, that was an impeachment over a relationship. This is totally different." Really?
Yeah. I like how they categorize things myself. But let me ask you one more thing.
Sure.
I need anybody out there, if they were to call in. From what I understand, that War Powers Act of '73 was unconstitutional.
Don't know. I want to say I think it passed, but
it did. But I'm wondering if it could be repealed.
I don't know if it's ever been challenged in court or not. Not to my knowledge, anyway. But
it's not just the War Powers Act of '72, but it's the Patriot Act too.
Yeah.
The Patriot Act gives them even more power.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't get me started with that one.
I know. I'm sure you don't want me to.
Make sure you return those library books you got on how to build bombs. Okay.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
Have a great weekend.
All right, take it easy. All right, thanks a lot. Caller, thanks for waiting. You're on the air. What's going on?
Oh yeah, hey, I was just curious. Did anybody see any snow last night?
Because they said Shane snow.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what. I didn't see no snow, but at the same time, the city is out at 5:30 and 6 o'clock in the morning running their snowplows, waking people up. Okay. And there's no reason for you guys to be plowing roads when there's no snow.
Yeah, there wasn't.
And how about I go run a snowplow or start scraping and chinking on the concrete next to the people that run the snowplows and see how they like that.
Yeah.
I think MTS has their heads up their asses, and you guys need to.
We'll let them know. I'm sure they're listening.
Quit waking people up when there's no snow.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call.
That's my bit.
All right. Appreciate it. All right. We got to take a short break. We'll be back in 90 seconds. Hang on. 7 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Friday, January 10th, 2020, 12 degrees outside. We're looking for a high of 25 degrees today. This is the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane, brought to you by the Club Tavern and Grill on North 7th of the Best Western Grand Tree across from Walmart. And go in there and tell them Tom and Shane sent you down. And they'll give you a free cocktail napkin, I'm sure, with every drink. So... great place to go. Great happy hour specials every day of the week, and great place to be.
That's right. And we do want to mention the Dow is up 20 points. It's trying to get past that 29,000 mark, but it's the NASDAQ. My gosh, Tom, it's over 9,000.
I know,
up 29 points. And it's all green acrous the board. Yep. Everybody's happy. The FTSE in London, happy. DAX in Germany, the CAC in France, the FTSE in Italy, even Spain's market is up today. So, the world seems a peaceful place.
Yeah, we don't appear to be on the brink of war, do we?
No. And the market is saying it's not going to happen.
It ain't going to happen, yeah. So, Well, I know we had some protesters out running around Bozeman, no war in Iraq or no war in Iran or whatever. So, good for them, Hey, nobody wants war, but... sometimes...
Even the price of oil has dropped to 65 in Europe on Brent from 69.
Our local gas has gone down 2 cents here.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Hey, you just got a raise, folks. Thanks to Tom and Shane for getting those gas prices down for you.
Yeah, right.
Let's go to the phones. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you on the air. What's going on?
Yeah, this is Bob. I have to be the politically correct police this morning.
All right.
Okay, let's go.
Your caller who was talking about the Department of Transportation?
Yes.
He cannot use that phrase. The correct phrase is a diagnosis of cranial rectitis.
Oh, okay.
Very good.
All right. Well, thanks for that clarification. The FCC is going to be happy.
Well, just so we use the proper terms, so we're not in trouble with anybody.
That's right. Hey, we appreciate you looking out for us.
Another woke moment.
I want to give you guys a windfall profit this morning. If you go over to Post Falls in Idaho, they're selling their gas for $2.44 a gallon. So
wow.
There's a big increase for the week.
All right.
Just drive over there and buy a gallon.
Okay, there you go. I like it.
Hey, enjoy you guys.
All right. Hey, thanks a lot for the call. Hey, you just don't get that information on the other
No.
stations. You just don't. I mean, that's why everybody's here. So. Oh, gosh.
You got to get the local news, Tom. Come on.
I know. we haven't got there yet. I got all this local news lined up here all over the place.
You got the commissioners in 4 minutes.
I know.
Come on.
We'll have to do local news at 7:30, I guess, or 8:30.
Oh, okay.
The 8:30 hour. So, yeah, because we've only got a couple of minutes left here because we got to duck out. They'll be in here, so... boy, I don't know. I got a couple of text things in here. Try and be brief in your text. All right, I can't read 9 pages of stuff here. But wow, last week Daniel said people were closet murderers. I had no idea that so many people around me were closet murderers. You've got me as paranoid as you are, Daniel. If there are people like you that need more proof of Soleimani's terrorist culpability. You don't need any more proof of President Trump being a bigoted liar. God help us. Daniel, I believe that you are blinded and ignorant to your own doublespeak. In like manner, most Democrats are blind to their own wrongdoing. Jesus had a word for all you liberals. Take the beam out of your eye. Then Jesus said you'll be clearly enough to take the speck out of your conservative brother's eyes. I believe that Daniel would be well served to confirm his facts through sources other than open-ended liberal arguments in the media. So, yeah. So, let's see. See what else we've got here. Could you even imagine the blowback from the Democrats if President Trump would have killed a couple of Americans in the covert strike to take out General Soleimani? It would have really hit the fan, and the demand for his impeachment would reach new heights. Yes, Americans were killed under Obama's sanctioned military operations, and hardly a word said. It's as if these American lives were unfortunate casualties of war, all grace on the side of the Democrats, while Republicans are damned if they do, damned if they don't. What an irresponsible double standard the Democrats have set for our future. So, there you go.
And your time to go to break.
Yeah. Well, pretty close anyway, because...
and turn my phone on, please, before you go to break.
Oh, okay. I will. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
Shane's tin can and string dropped the call, so...
Yeah, it's just too much snow here, buddy. It's just too much snow.
Yeah, due to our primitive systems here, we can't... unfortunately, Shane is unable to... hear the callers unless he's on the phone line too. So
I'm back.
He's back. All right. Yeah, we're going to take a break here in just a couple seconds. So stay tuned. And Shane, we've got a caller waiting on the line. So if you want to chat with them, we will be back here shortly, right after the news at the top of the hour. We also will have the county commissioners will be in here any minute, so they're suing the city. So we're going to find out what's up with that. Why are they taking the city to task? Gonna spank the city commissioners behind, I guess. So I don't know. They got some deal going over a road, so we'll find out. But anyway, hey, it's finally Friday. It's January 10th, 2020, 12 degrees outside. The KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane is brought to you by the Club Tavern and Grill. Check out the Club Tavern and Grill at the Best Western Grand Tree on North 7th across from Walmart. Tell them Tom and Shane sent you in. And we'll return with the callers and texters and the county commissioners right after this. So stay tuned. We got a caller. Is that what you're trying to tell me? All right.
You want to take this call? Yeah.
All right. Let's get this out of the way. Caller, you're on the air. What's up?
Well, I'll make it short if you want it out of the way.
Sure.
I was just reaming Shane out for you guys double teaming on Daniel Peterson. We, as listeners and callers, I think we have the right to question this information that's coming at us, this stuff that causes President Trump to make a drone strike on any person in the world. I think Daniel Peterson and I have the right to ask the information about this. Where's it coming from?
Sure.
Is it coming from President Hillary? Or is it coming from the same people that say there's weapons of mass destruction? Or the same people that say, oh, we had this little incident in Vietnam, in the Gulf of Tonkin, where they bombed our ship, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If we don't have the right to question this information, then all of you are not welcome on this station. That's my complaint, Tom.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call. All right. Well, I think we gave Daniel more than enough time, but anyway, that's neither here nor there because we got the county commissioners of the House. Don Seifert's here, Joe Skinner's here, Scott McFarland's here. And do you think there's any remote possibility that I could get all 5 city commissioners in here?
You could ask. You could ask them.
That's good.
You only have 4 mics.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask them.
Until 2 of them had to share 1 mic.
That's right. Yeah, they share 1 mic. Yeah. Well, guys, the news says you guys are you're suing the city.
I heard we were doing that.
What's up with that anyway? What's going on with the city?
Yeah, it concerns Oak and Ferguson again, and the method in which the city determined that needed to be paid for. Mm-hmm. And quite honestly, what we really need to say right at first is we're not doing this out of anger, right?
Sure.
We're not angry at the city. We've never said that we don't owe anything on that ground. We there's a good possibility we do, but we're stewards of the taxpayer dollars. They're not our dollars. They're the taxpayer dollars, and there's a state law that says any project over $80,000 needs to go to a public bid process. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't appear to us that a close to almost $3 million project did not go out for bid. So as stewards of the taxpayer dollars,
is there a reason that didn't go out for bid? Because almost all of these things do, don't they?
You get all 5 commissioners from the city in the room, you could ask them that question.
I guess so. Okay. Yeah. Sounds correct.
And I'd like to make the point too that we're not suing the city again. This is basically the same lawsuit.
Yeah, it's the same lawsuit that was
the first time the judge didn't throw it out. What's the word?
Dismissed.
Dismissed it.
We didn't have standing because we couldn't demonstrate damages.
Yeah, you hadn't paid anything yet.
Right. So we hadn't got a bill.
Hadn't got a bill.
Yeah, you hadn't got a bill and you hadn't paid anything to the city.
So this is basically the same lawsuit that we've been talking about for years.
Yeah. So now you paid them something, I think.
We paid under protest.
Yeah, you paid under protest. So now you've got standing because you've been damaged.
Right.
And, okay.
Yeah. And it's it's just one of those things. Like I say, we're stewards of the taxpayer dollars, and actually there's some statutes that say that we can't participate in a program that's illegal, right? Mm-hmm. And so what we've basically asked is for a judge to look at this and say, is this legal? Is this not legal? Yeah. If it's not legal, what's the remedy? If it's legal, we'll pay it. Mm-hmm. We just need to know before we spend taxpayer dollars if this is was legally done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's kind of it's a what I would say a kind of a confusing area because Flanders Mill is your road.
Not anymore. We gave that to the city.
With the high school.
It's all city road.
So it's all city road now. Okay, so
I think what the city was basing why they charged us to begin with is because we did buy property that had signed a waiver of consent. A waiver
right to protest.
Right to protest an RID.
Okay, yeah.
So the city just used that and said, okay, well, you guys can't protest.
Yeah.
But we're not protesting the RID so much as we're protesting the legality of the RID. Mm-hmm. And that comes down to a judge might have to make that decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's really that simple. We're just asking a judge, is this legal before we spend taxpayer dollars on it?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So
has you filed this already?
Yeah.
Right.
And is there any court date set or anything like that as of yet? So we don't know yet.
We don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. When we always jokingly talk about the speed of government, but then you can compare it to the speed of the judicial system. We're smoking right along when we do that, right? Yeah.
I was gonna say, look at the time people spend on death row.
Yeah, right.
I gotta say.
Yeah. But it'll work its way through. Don't know when, but what we did is on the RID, it's one, 2 payments a year.
Right.
At the same time anybody pays their taxes, and we filed the first one under protest. I'm fairly confident that when the one in May comes around, we'll pay that under protest too. So
okay.
It's till we get a decision. That's the plan.
So it sounds like they may not take it up till after May, maybe, or
don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but if it isn't, you're going to make that payment anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's it. The law says that's what we have to do, and we think it's a good idea to follow the law.
Well, yeah, you probably should, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Let's see, from our text line. So how much of the taxpayer dollars have you paid lawyers for this?
None.
Yeah, you got a county attorney.
We have a county attorney in an office that does that. So
there you go.
No extra money. They work on stuff for us all the time.
So you don't have to do anything with those folks. Yeah, they just
we pay them salary and
put them to work.
And give them something to do.
Yeah. Marty needs the work.
Marty needs the work. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Well, in the same, in fairness, this can probably be said for the city as well. They have their own legal staff. So far, I don't think they've spent a lot of time on it.
So.
Yeah. So.
Actually, I think the city has hired outside counsel.
Yeah.
They did last time.
They might not this time. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
When you get all 5 of them in the room, there you go.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how that works out. I don't know. So what else you guys up to? What else you working on here?
Well, Scott was out at the Nixon out at Manhattan. Little news on Nixon Bridge.
Everybody might have heard we had some mitigation about the removing the Nixon Bridge, right? So that's a project that we have to get going, and it came down to this week that it hinges on the possibility of the city of Manhattan becoming a steward of a piece of that bridge to help us preserve a part of the bridge. And so last night at the Manhattan City Council, that was a decision they made to help us out by, at least for now, taking a piece of the bridge as a historic memorial somewhere in town. And we needed that decision in order for us to get our permit.
Are you replacing the bridge or just going away?
Yeah, the Nixon Bridge will go away as we put a new bridge in to get across the Gallatin.
All right, so it's being replaced. In other words. Okay.
Yeah, and that project has been sort of delayed for a bit through various reasons, permitting things. But our contractor, we've got a contractor, and he'd like to be able to start building that bridge. And wintertime is a great time to build a bridge when you have to get into the river and do stuff. So
I would bet. Yeah.
So the plan is we got to get a permit from Army Corps of Engineers, which we believe is our final permit, and then we can give the go-ahead to the contractor to start doing contract stuff.
Yeah, because the legislature finally turned some money loose for some of these projects you guys have been sitting on for.
Yeah, this project was 2017.
I was going to say, you've been on this for
we
quite
have
a
the
while.
Money.
Yeah. So the money's been appropriated, so you're ready to go.
Ready.
Let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Calling you on the air with the county commissioners. What's up?
I guess this is a little off the subject. I sure would like to have somebody call into your station and tell us the straight, skinny, and poop on the 5G network.
Okay.
I hear that your ears can fall off if you use it too much. Everything, but I sure like to find out the truth about it.
All right. I would listen at 7:30. Shane's pretty knowledgeable on that, and I think he can fill you in after we finish with the county commissioners.
All right. Thank you.
Stay
Go
tuned.
Bridge. Go Bridge.
Yeah,
Go Bridge.
Thanks for the call. All right. Sounds good. Yeah. So, the city's putting fiber optics in, I guess. But
the city's got what is it? The Bozeman Fiber, which is a fiber network. It's a ring,
which we're a tenant of.
Yeah. We're
any of that in the county?
There is fiber in the county, but there's no.
I mean,
county.
is it something you guys are involved in and putting it in, or
We're
getting it?
No.
I was going to say that's more private. Industries doing it.
Yeah, we're partners. We're tenants on the Bozeman Fiber ring. We use that a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take one more phone call, then we got to take a break. Caller, you're on the air with the county commissioners. What's up?
Good morning. Thank you. This is regarding the Nixon Bridge, and I was wondering, is there money for demolition of the bridge that's been included in the funds?
There is money for disposal of the bridge, and that is part of the money that we're using to develop this art piece or this portion of the bridge that's going to be preserved, as well as a sort of a history of it in some panels out there that's called a Hapsheard, and God only knows what Hapsheard means, but it's basically we'll memorialize that bridge in history books and in panels, picture panels, and explain what the significance of that
was, what it was, versus what it is. So so are you talking about disassembling it? Is it going to be preserved for a resale market, since there's a market out there for bridges?
No, the bridge will not be resold. It'll probably be destroyed, except for the small part that will go to Manhattan for a memorial.
The 12 feet of it.
Right.
So is it going to be sold for scrap? Is that what you're looking at? And
possibly. That's up to the contractor to decide what he wants to do with it.
Do you know who the contractor is?
First Mark?
First Mark Construction. Yep.
Yeah.
First Mark. And were these federal funds or state funds?
It's a good mixture of state funds. The Gallatin River Ranch across the way, we put an RID on that. They're going to help pay for it, and then there's county funds in it as well. So that's state, county, and private funds in it.
And there's some in Manhattan, I guess.
No, nothing in Manhattan.
Really?
Just
okay.
Gallatin
I
River
thought
Ranch.
you said there was something coming from
them.
them.
But it wasn't a federal. This isn't a federal program, because I know that there's other bridges that you're looking at too in the county.
No, it's my understanding there are no federal dollars in this bridge, unless it maybe comes down through the state. Federal dollars.
I don't think so, because that was TSEP, right?
TSEP money,
Treasure State Endowment.
And I know that there had been some local groups that were talking about wanting to raise money to be able to move it 5 miles away for a walking bridge. And how much, if somebody wanted to buy it, what's the price on it?
The moving of it is the price of it. The roads that surround that area are not up to being able to handle the kinds of equipment that would move a bridge.
Well, she was talking about
like
a walking bridge.
Yeah, but moving that bridge in whole.
Oh, no, they wouldn't move it in whole. They would disassemble it and then move it.
I'm not sure it can be disassembled very easily either, because it's lead paint based.
Rust and
they got to be really careful about how they take it out of the river so that paint doesn't fall off.
Yeah, 100-plus-year-old bridge.
You know, we've been talking about this for like 2.5 years.
Right.
And, you know, at first, we really wanted somebody to take that bridge, and we would love for it to be placed somewhere else. Nobody came up with the money at the time to do that. So we're here where we are, and I don't even know if we can go that way anymore.
No, we're past that now.
Yeah. Okay.
There's the it's called Bach Steel, and it's a company that works on bridges nationally and addressing precisely these kind of bridges. And so I know a lot of communities around the country have been facing it, and they're seeing these bridges as assets, and so they're working them into the community in a different way, and that's why I was wondering about the demolition, money in terms of how that could be utilized to use that bridge. But they disassemble them and move them.
If you have any information on that company, let us know, please, because this isn't the last bridge we're dealing with. We're actually we've got TSEP money to replace the Meridian Bridge out on the Jefferson. The state's also replacing Axtell Anthony Bridge. So, we're going to be dealing with this historic preservation issue on several bridges and eventually Old Town bridges in Three Forks. So if we can find a way to to get around this and preserve these bridges, we're all for that.
Excellent. Actually, I'd be glad to come into your office and sit down and talk to you. But you can, meanwhile, look them up on the internet. But I would be glad to come in and talk with you. But it's called Bach, like the musician, the composer. I mean, BACH, Steel, and they're doing this all over the country.
We'd be certainly interested in it.
Terrific. Which one of you would?
What's the number she can call and make an appointment with you guys?
582-3000. Just call, and our assistants will schedule an appointment with one or all of us.
Lovely. All right, I will do that, and see you then in a week.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for the call. We got to take a quick break. We'll be right back right after these important words. Stay tuned. All right, we're back, and we're talking with the county commissioners. Don Seifert's in the house. Joe Skinner, Scott McFarland, got the whole crew here. We can vote on something if you guys want to. You got anything going on we can vote on this morning?
You're the morning mayor. Can we vote you back into office?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Vote me in for another year, huh?
Sure.
We'll go for that.
Take a motion.
Sounds good. So, well, we've been talking about bridges. We've been talking about the lawsuit with the city that's coming up. So, anything else on your agenda here for the month of January or the first quarter or anything like that you got in the hopper?
Well, the PCC, the Planning Coordination Committee, we're going to have probably some stuff coming out for the triangle and the plan, and bringing it in front of the Belgrade Commission, the Bozeman Commission, the Gallatin County Commission, and trying to get that put to bed, and so that's going to happen. That's coming up real soon.
We're also in the middle of updating the growth policy, county growth policy. So I'd encourage everybody that has an interest in that to visit the website. I think it's envisiongallatin.com.
Envisiongallatin.com. Okay.
And there's a lot of things that you can, fill out on there to make your ideas known.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. And you're also still looking for board members on various boards that are out there, and we put a link up in one of our, I guess last Friday. If you want to go back to our recordings, there's a link to where you can get information about the board.
Yeah, culture's changed. Even since I've been commissioner, where we used to have a whole list of people who want to be on boards. It's hard to get people to serve on boards.
Well, I don't know. Everybody's got 4 jobs, and
Yeah, no, I'm not being critical. I'm just saying our culture has changed to where people they're busy and it's not a priority.
Yeah. That's speaking of boards. That's one of the things we're doing now is we're looking at our boards. Most of them are advisory boards to the commission, and we're looking at the work that they do and how we can make their work more meaningful, more important, and
and you've combined some boards, haven't you? Rather than have 2, you kind of maybe put some of them together where they do some of that. I mean, not a lot of them.
Not a lot. Maybe, I can't think of any right now. But and some of these boards are required by statute,
right?
To have, and so we're just sort of re-looking at kind of how that portion of Gallatin County government does business, and is there a better way to do that that's maybe a little more respectful of the time that people put on those committees. So
yeah. Well, I encourage everybody to go to your website, Gallatin.
Gallatin.mt.gov.
And you can see the boards there, and just click on that. And it'll give you a list of them, and you may have a list of maybe like planning, maybe like some of the other things that.
There's I think we have like 40 some.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them. Yeah, so almost every interest you might have, there's probably a board for it. So.
Mosquito district down in Three Forks, and a TV district at West Yellowstone, and got a couple of dike districts down at for the dikes down in Three Forks. With the help to control the
cemetery boards.
Cemetery boards.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Fair
people
board,
are dying to
board.
get on that one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. yeah. But we sort of make light of that. But those boards really do serve a valuable.
Well, they do.
Source.
Sure. Yeah. No. That's why I bring it up. I would encourage everybody because I'm on the salary committee.
Tom's a board member.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm a board member. Been on there for several years. It's kind of interesting to get in there and see how how your government works, and you've got a little bit of a say in it. As you say, most of the boards are advisory boards, but you guys are always receptive to ideas from the outside.
Well, not only receptive, we want advice.
You request them or you want them. Yeah.
And I'd say, I don't know about Scott, but I know myself and Don.
Yeah.
That's how we got interested in county politics, was being on a board and seeing how it works and wanting to get in there and doing more.
Yeah. You see how things work, and you can make a difference, and you got a say in what's happening, and you feel more involved in your community and all of that.
Feel more informed about what's going on. That's really a big thing.
Exactly right. All right, Don Seifert, Joe Skinner, Scott McFarland, thanks for being here, guys.
Yeah,
appreciate
thank you.
it. Thanks for
have a great weekend.
All right,
appreciate the opportunity.
All right, take care. All right,
take care, guys.
Thanks, Shane.
All right, we'll be back. Stay tuned. A lot more to come. We're actually going to try to get to some local news today. See if we can right after this. And Shane's going to talk about 5G networks coming up, too. So we'll talk about that when we come back. 25 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Friday, and it's January the 10th, 2020. 13 degrees outside. Shane Matobin, half man, half amazing, has decided that the caller is worthy of airtime. So, caller, you are on the air. What's up?
Well, nothing like putting me on the spot.
Right. Well, yeah, I put Shane on the spot for okaying you.
All right. Well, I really don't want to bitch or complain. The only thing I want to say is joy, joy, happy, happy. It's Friday.
That's right.
Yahoo!
Finally Friday.
We made it another week.
That's right. We're ready for it.
Yeah, me too. I'm ready for this weekend. Okay, guys. Thanks for all your good work, and I'll be listening.
All right. Hey, appreciate it very much. Thank you very much. Excellent call, Shane. Good job. He's the best co-host. He's the best call screener ever. So there you are. Guy does it all. His knowledge and expertise is boundless. So that's why he's here. Well, Shane, should we actually try to get something local done here?
What, you want me to do the 5G thing, or?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we had a caller who wanted to do the 5G thing. Thanks for reminding me. Go ahead and get that done.
So 5G is a fifth generation wireless technology for digital cellular networks. 0G was what we started with, and it's an extremely high frequency. Which you got to cut a phone off call off if you don't mind.
Sorry. Yeah, there we go. Okay, sorry about that.
It's 0G is an extremely high frequency, and it was established by the International Telecommunications Union and used for radio frequencies for the last 100 years. And so the spectrum for radio is 30 to 300 gigahertz. What you're looking at is 5G. And the importance of it is it's a fifth generation, 1G, 2G, and so forth. Like 2G was 2.5 gigahertz and 2.7 to 2.7 gigahertz and so forth. They got to 5G because of compression, and they found that under this frequency, they could compress a lot more information and send it down the line. That combined with the opportunities that the frequency is stronger. So in the case of when you're in rush hour traffic and you're trying to call home and you're talking to your wife and your phone drops, or you can't get a line out, it's because so many people are on the line and the radio tower isn't picking up your signal. So 5G will solve that problem. There have been studies on 5G and the danger of high frequencies or low frequencies on the frequency spectrum. Hebrew University has probably done the most extensive one, but it was specifically about the effects on skin, because skin is the largest organ in the body, and it's the most exposed to, this frequency spectrum. But we've had this now since the age of TV, radio, and now cell phones since the 80s. And again, you go on the premise of, well, there hasn't been a lot of illness. There hasn't been a lot of people dying. So while there may be some indirect effect to the human body, a lot of scientists are saying because of the frequency, the drop in cancer may have something to do with this frequency because it may be, positively affecting the human body. Now, I'm not supporting that. I'm just saying there's all kinds of studies out there you can read from one side of the spectrum to the other. So this isn't something people should worry about. One of the interesting aspects of since last year, they've been putting up these new networks, the 5G networks. And the reason they're doing it is because it isn't as strong to penetrate glass and or your house. So these more direct 5G towers that they're putting up are creating a better signal, providing streaming that you wouldn't otherwise get, and causing less drops or loss of connectivity. So that's
okay.
Could talk more about it and be more. I could get in the weeds about gigahertz and all that good stuff. So if someone wants me to, I can. But that's basically the overview. So on to the city. Go.
Okay. Well, I wanted to mention because you were mentioning about disease and things like that. I think the caller was worried about burning your ears off and things like that. And from just recently, a day ago, U.S. cancer deaths fell the most ever between 2016 and 2017. According to the latest data from the American Cancer Society, the drop adds to an overall 29% drop in cancer deaths in this country since 1991. So I guess what we're pointing out here is that cancer is one of the things that's attributed to a lot of things in our lives that microwaves and TV and radio and whatever.
Right.
So, we sit here with headphones on all day long, so.
Are you suggesting my brain's fried, Tom?
Yeah,
is that what you're telling me?
Yeah. Your brain's done, man. It's over for you. So.
My goodness! I thought I had 11 years left.
Well, I don't know, 10 3/4 maybe.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, we got to take another quick break, and then we'll do some local stuff. We promise. Right after this. Here's some words from the Club Tavern and Grill. Thanks to them for sponsoring the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. We'll be right back. 16 minutes before the top of the hour. It helps if you turn your mic on. It's 16 minutes before the top of the hour, Friday, January 10th, 2020, 13 degrees outside. And in local news, the new cafe, the Blacksmith Italian, is going to take over the former Sola Cafe. And the Sola Cafe was a pretty popular place near the university. It's on the corner of Kagi and whatever there by the Museum of the Rockies, just down the road from the Museum of the Rockies. And great food there. But I haven't been to the Blacksmith, but I've heard good things about it. So let's hope it's successful in its debut of moving into a much larger. It's going to be in a much larger space, Shane. So,
yeah, and because it's Italian, the food costs aren't as great, so it won't be as expensive as other types of food. So it's good.
Pizza, pasta, all those things that are that are more family friendly, so to speak. I guess so. Well, the 2020 candidates are turning out for filing day, of course. They're filing, and the one name that stands out will be a name that you remember here. Rabbi Ed is running for he's a former civil rights attorney, and he's running for District 62, which covers South Central Bozeman, and seat's been held by a Democratic Representative Tom Woods, who has served out and is running for the Public Service Commission. But yeah, that's the one name that stands out that people here might be familiar with. So let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Caller, you're on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Well, good morning, fellas.
Hey.
This is Tom. I just wanted to get in my 2 cents worth to expose the hypocrisy of the Democrats and the Democrat politicians and their liberal leftist sycophants. Essentially, I want to say that, Barry Hussein Obama had taken out salami I call him Salami.
Mm-hmm.
That's a close enough rendition, I think, to his name. But anyway, if Obama would have taken this guy out, they would have been cheering and having parades and groveling to get his autograph. And we know that's the case. He would have been the hero of the day. And that's just the way they operate, So
I'd argue if I could.
Yeah, well, they won't admit it, but they know in their heart, they know in their dark liberal hearts that it's true, that if that would have happened, he would have been the celebrity of the day. And I guess that's about all I got to say about it. But I'm just really tired of the hypocrisy and the corruption on the left. It's beyond hope now at this point. So you guys have a good day.
All right.
You too.
You too. Have a nice weekend, and thanks for listening. All right, let's see, Shane. We've got other things that are going on. One of the things that's happening is that climate change is threatening Yellowstone. Oh my God, Shane!
Oh yeah.
I guess the glaciers in Yellowstone are melting, huh? I don't know. But anyway, climate change and a booming population. Greater Yellowstone area is facing two great threats: a rapidly warming climate and a rapid population growth. And so I don't know. They just arrested a couple guys for walking on the Old Faithful the other day. So the ground there apparently is pretty tender, and there's scalding water not too far down from the ground. So you probably shouldn't walk around over there.
Right.
But
it is a giant caldera.
Yeah.
I mean, like, seriously, you're in the middle, you're inside a volcano, folks. So, like,
pretty much.
when you go that, which is why Tom doesn't visit, because he doesn't want to walk around inside a volcano.
If I go down there and it blows, then it's all on me,
That's right.
I haven't seen Old Faithful yet. It's on my bucket list one of these days, but not at the moment anyway.
Don't worry, Tom. Go to YouTube.
Yeah, I can watch it there. What the heck? I don't need to go down there. So, but anyway, they're concerned that MSU put out 3 times more studies and publications on the Yellowstone region, and spending twice as much researching this area as campuses like Stanford, Oregon, and the University of Montana. So years ago, MSU trademarked the phrase University of Yellowstone, mainly as an idea for branding the Bozeman campus and attracting students. So
are they complaining about the animal population?
No, they're complaining about the population of too many people visiting. That it's.
Oh, I see.
They're. Well, you know how humans are. You take them in somewhere and they trash it. So if you get too many of them, what are you going to do?
Why didn't your government build a monorail system through it?
We should. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Yeah. We got kids in cages. We can't build stuff like that. Let's go to the phones. 522 Talk is the number. Caller, you're on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shay. What's up?
Good morning, fellas. AW here.
Hey, W, how you doing?
Good morning,
Doing
W.
Good. I just heard you guys talk about global warming and stuff, and all the fires in Australia. They've been arresting, I think it's upwards of 200 people.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Have been starting fires.
Yeah.
To prove the point of global warming.
Jeez,
what in the world is going on?
Yeah, I don't know what these people are thinking, man. But that Australia, it's going to take them decades to recover. 500 million animals dead from the fires, and 20 some people have been killed. 2,000 homes have been burned. I mean, the whole. I saw where they transposed a map of Australia over the United States, and if that were the case, every single state in the Union would have fires in it going on. Mm-hmm. So it's terrible down there.
Yeah, I can't believe, human beings actually do it. I know it's not a new thing, but just to prove the point of global warming, they would set it. I mean, liberals just, I don't know. They have no brains. I don't understand it.
Well,
that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, no, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Yeah, it is hard to understand, Shane, that people would, it's like people driving stakes into trees in the forest. That I don't want you to cut down the forest, so I'll ruin your chainsaw and kill. Take the chance of maybe killing you, or taking your job away and whatever, just for my own personal whatever. So.
Well, we have a horrific problem with the beetle kill of our forests up here in BC.
Oh yeah, we do lightning, here too.
Yeah, and 2 years ago, 3 summers ago, 658 fires we had at one point.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's a natural process, regrettably, for the forests to burn.
Yeah,
and we've said that time and time again. What went on 200 years ago?
Yeah. Whole place may have burned down for all we know.
That's right.
All right. We got to take another quick break. We've got a caller waiting on the line, Shane, if you could chat with them. And we'll be right back with more right after the Rush update. Here's Rush. Winding down our time, we got about 3 minutes before the top of the hour. We got a caller patiently waiting on the line that Shane has somehow determined are worthy of airtime, so we'll check it out. Caller, you are on the air. Thanks for waiting. What's up?
Well, I'm drowning from the waterboarding, but anyway, all those people in waterboarding. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
All those people, in Australia, I feel horrible for. But back, I don't know, a few hundred years ago, the Aboriginals used to burn that place almost every year. And I think maybe they're a little bit smarter than we are.
Well.
We think that, we just let our forests overgrow with brush and garbage, and then they catch on fire, and fires are natural. So, if you want to be all unnatural, just let it burn, baby.
That's it.
It's horrible, but that's the way they view it,
Yeah.
They don't want you in there. In California, they blocked all the logging roads off so you can't drive down because they don't want any people in there. Oh, no. That's bad for the forest.
Yeah, we can't do that.
We can't do that. And I was born in Paradise, the town that burned to the ground last year.
Oh,
my grandmother's house that my grandfather built and had stood there for, 70 years, burnt to the ground.
No, that's a shame.
And isn't that sad? Isn't that sad?
That is very sad, yeah.
And let me tell you what, there was no brush or garbage around my grandpa's house because it was, he had cleared all that stuff out. But people just don't understand that you cannot have brush and dead trees and all this stuff and expect it not to catch fire.
Yeah.
It's just insanity. So, let the environmentalists keep us all insane. That's where we belong. Have a good day.
All right. Thanks for the call. All right.
There you go.
Well said. That was a good one, wasn't it, Shane?
It was indeed.
Yeah. All right. About 30 seconds left. Shane, say goodbye.
Have a great snowy weekend.
Yeah.
Everybody have a wonderful time. Be happy. Be safe. Live in the moment. Live to work. And God bless everyone in the valley.
Amen to that. Yeah. All right. That does it for us. Thanks to Shane for being with me, of course, as always. We really appreciate that, of course. And also, a reminder, we're brought to you by the Club Tavern and Grill. Club Tavern and Grill, Bozeman's top-rated upscale sports bar with 12 TVs, a casino full bar, Montana-owned city brew barista, and sports packages and more. Go online to theclubtavernandgrill.com and place an order to pick up or make reservations for parties of 6 or more. Check out the Club Tavern and Grill at the Best Western Grand Tree on North 7th across from Walmart. Tell them Tom and Shane sent you down, and they'll do some good service for you down there. So we really appreciate them sponsoring the show. Thanks for everybody for supporting us. We just went over 2,900 downloads of our shows. We really appreciate that. We'll see everybody Monday morning, 6 a.m.